How you doing, huh? Yeah. There was a time when people believed that the Earth was flat and that it was the center of the universe. But no one believes these ideas anymore. Our spherical planet orbits an average star, which is just one of 1 billion trillion stars in the observable universe. And while we may be the center of our solar system, we are assuredly not the center of the universe. In 1899, Charles Duell was the commissioner of the U.S. Patent Office, and he made the remarkable claim that everything that can be invented has already been invented. And if you just look at the phones that we carry in our pockets and purses, you realize that Mr. Duell lacked imagination for his job. We might ask, how did we get from living on a flat planet to having devices that give us fingertip access to every piece of knowledge in the world? Ideas. In many ways, ideas are at the core of human life. Our lives and circumstances are the result of the constant interaction between ideas and change. Oddly enough, though, we aren't taught how to adapt to change or to develop new ideas that bring about change. So it's not a surprise that many of our problems flow from the difficulty in responding to or appropriately creating change. Last October, I started to write daily lists of at least 10 ideas. It has proved to be one of the most powerful disciplines of my life. A lot of our thought patterns and approaches to problem solving are oriented around accomplishing tasks and bringing about specific outcomes, particularly at work. Because we haven't learned how to adapt to change and to create new ideas, we often repeat the same behavioral patterns and thought processes. And this gets worse as we age because we tend to cultivate a mindset that adequately explains life to us. It's a kind of map that helps us make sense of a world that's random, hard to understand, and dangerous. The problem is these patterns and thought processes become ruts that channel us, not because they're effective, but because they're familiar. Writing 10 ideas a day shifts that orientation and positions you in a creative frame of mind. And much like lifting weights improves strength, daily idea lists exercise your ability to imagine with increasing levels of creativity, as well as identify and solve problems you might otherwise ignore. Now, the goal is not to come up with great ideas. The only goal is simply to write 10 ideas. Most of them will be bad, average, and good ideas, and this is because every great idea is always preceded by many bad, average, and good ones. If your objective is only great ideas, then you won't succeed frequently enough to build and maintain the discipline. If we go back to the weightlifting analogy, seeking great ideas as the goal is like trying to lift 400 pounds on your first day at the gym. So this is why the only objective is simply to create ideas. When writing ideas, it is important that you not prejudge them. Prejudgment stifles creativity. I write every idea that comes to mind, even if it has no clear connection to the topic. And this is because every great idea is always preceded by many bad, average, and good ones. Even though an idea may not make sense when I write it down, it is often part of a series of connected ideas that eventually yields an interesting idea sometime later. And this is because a fair amount of the process of generating ideas happens beyond your awareness. So you need to trust your brain by writing every idea that comes to your mind. I've got 2 examples that I picked out of my ideas list. One day a friend posted a Facebook request for ideas on how to stop his dog from digging the backyard near a fence. Now, I don't have dogs, but I decided that this would be my topic for 10 ideas that day. So I started by asking a couple questions. What's on the other side that the dog wants? The dog also digs in multiple locations, so what do those locations have in common? Create an acceptable place for him to dig. Maybe you could give him daily treats to dig for something that's more appealing than whatever's on the other side of the fence. Perhaps you could activate a loud dog whistle every time he digs in a forbidden spot. Or set up a camera to record images every 15 seconds and see how the environment stimulates the dog. Now, these are incomplete, unrelated ideas, but the point is that you come up with them. You're not trying to create an orderly expression of a solution. All you're trying to come up with are ideas. About a month ago, I binged on Russian dashcam videos. I just love watching dashcam videos, and Russian drivers are just insane. And after viewing at least 100 incidents, I wondered what the causes of accidents were. So I created an ideas list about what I had learned from the videos, and it turned out to be a lot. The number one cause of accidents was impatience. Too much speed, also related to impatience, was a significant factor. Entering traffic with partially blocked views, which prevented the driver from seeing an approaching hazard, was a factor. Pedestrians, who are unpredictable and surprisingly fast. One moment they're at the corner and the next they're in the middle of the intersection. And finally, poor look-ahead skills and situational awareness. Now, the chain effect of writing ideas is amazing. Each idea is linked to at least one other idea. Impatience and too much speed were pretty obvious. But I didn't recognize blocked vision, quick pedestrians, and poor look-ahead skills until I wrote about impatience. And this is because every great idea is always preceded by many bad, average, and good ones. I encourage you to give daily idea lists a try this week, and in my next presentation, I'll share with you a few different methods to create ideas so that you can become an idea generator.